All right, well, let's take a look at a little project that we did in class. And we tried to do that project in class, dividing a segment into equal pieces. And we actually did that piece in class using a compass and straight edge, but I'd like to show you how to do that in a program called GeoGebra. And so we're going to go over and look at how to do that. That's a new program. And so I'd like to just sort of introduce that to you. So I came over here into a nice little window, and I'm going to open up a brand new window and type in GeoGebra, geogebra.org. Now, I sometimes will have these things open before, but in talking to one of the former our teachers, they went to the wrong one and it didn't work very well. So I want to click on Start Calculator right here. So if I start the calculator right here, in fact, I'm going to drag it over to a different screen. So I'm looking at you guys right now. But what I want to learn how to do is how to actually make a segment and then cut it into 3 pieces or 4 pieces or 5 or however many I'd like to. So part of GeoGebra is you can type in equations, but you can also do tools. So I'm going to click on tools right here, and I'm going to pick a point, and I'm going to just make a point right here. And again, it doesn't matter what point that I have, it's just a point. And I'm going to pick another point over here. So let's say I decided I wanted to make a segment from A to B. But I'm going to do a little bit more with that, and I'm going to make a line segment that goes between those. And so if I scroll down over here to the side, you'll see this thing that says segment, and I'm going to connect up the segment A to B. Okay, so now I have this segment that I would like to work on. Now, here's where it gets a little bit interesting. I'm using the proportionality theorem that we got in class. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make some new points. And so what I decided to do is I'm going to rise 2 and run 1. And I'm going to rise 2 and run 1. And rise 2 and run 1. And I'll do this a couple of times. Now, please understand that I could do this as many times as I want to or as few times as I want to. But in my case, I split it into 1, 2, 3, 4 places. But if I kept going, I could do 5. I think I will do 5. Now, again, as I did a minute ago, I'm going to turn this thing into a segment. So I'm going to scroll down to line, and I'm going to click on segment and go all the way from A up here to G. Now, because I made all of those things exactly the same rise over run, I made sure they were on a line together. And then I'm going to connect up G right here. I'm going to make a segment that goes from G down to B. Now, here's the kind of interesting thing is we learned that you can make things proportional as long as you can make sure the parts are parallel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click right here under construct parallel. And what it wants me to do is select a parallel line and a point. So I'm going to hit parallel. I want parallel to H, and I want it to go through E. And then I want to be parallel to H, and I want it to go through this one. I guess that was it. And then parallel to this one, and I want to go through D. And parallel to H, and again, I want it to go through C. And so what I've done is I've created all of these beautiful little parallel lines that end up crossing this guy. And now I've broken it up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. And since all of these are in a ratio where all of these pieces are equal, A to C is equal, C to D is equal, then all of these little sub pieces down here are also going to be equal. And I can do as many or as few as I want. Now I just need to finish this a little teeny bit. And so I'm going to go back up to the top in the tools, and there's something that says intersect. So I'm going to click on intersect, and I'm going to make my parallel right here intersect the crossing. I'm going to make the parallel line right here cross the intersecting line. The parallel line cross the intersecting. The parallel line. So again, on this one, as soon as you have a tool selected, it keeps doing that tool until you tell it to do something else. And what I wanted to do is one last little thing, and that is I'd like to prove to you that in fact, all of these things were in fact the same. And that means I'm going to go down here and I'm going to find the measure tool, and I'm going to click on the distance measure. and it says select 2 points. So I'm going to find the distance from A to H. And it says AH is 1.5. And then I'm going to go ahead and measure from H to I. Notice it's 1.5. From I to J is 1.5. J to K is 1.5. And K to B is 1.523. So you can see that all of those are in fact exactly the same length. So I did cut them into equal pieces, but the cool thing is because A to B was just random that I made, notice if I drag B a little bit, I make all these new lines, but all my new lines are split into 5 equal pieces because I made sure that these lines right here were parallel. Now, again, to recap, the only thing that changes how many things I do is I started with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. And if I did 6 pieces, I could cut it into 6 equal pieces. Or if I did 10, I could cut it into 10. And in fact, not only that, if I broke this into 5 equal pieces, then from here to 1, 2, 3 to here would be 3/5 of that segment. Or from A to K would be 4/5 of that segment. So we can cut it into any number of pieces that I want. And I chose to rise 1 and run 2 when I made my original piece, but I could have chosen any other slope that I wanted as long as I was consistent through my story. So what we could do is we could try another one right there, but I think we're probably good. So hopefully that helps, and I will see you back in class. We're going to try one of those on your own. Okay, goodbye. Bye-bye.